NIO, CAN, and EBON. So I'll be taking a look at those at the end. I want to get through the main indexes first. Before I get into any of this, of course, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I'm just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, we're going to take a look here, starting at Bitcoin first. So we have a chart here that I haven't touched. I haven't touched this. I'm going to make some changes to it now that we've had some price action here. So I want to take a look and see what has happened. Last week, we were talking about basically there being a bullish zone and being a bearish zone. If we went inside of one of these channels, we would be kind of resolving at that. So since we've gotten here, I'm actually to the point where I'm going to be basically counting this as an ending diagonal. All right, so that'll be down here to wave 2 is what this looks like. It's what this looks like. And I'm basing this off of the fact that, let me just zoom in just a little bit here. I'm basing this off of the fact that we had some resistance here, right? So we have this trend line, which I was watching, and we broke up above it, and then we did a little bit of a retest, and then we broke up above our more important trend line, which we are currently trading above. I was taking a look at potentially scalping a short position up here. When I woke up this morning, we were trading above where my short entry was going to be, so I didn't take that trade. And so I'm going to remove a lot of this because it's now no longer valid. What I didn't really like, and I'm just being upfront and honest with you, what I didn't like was the fact that, at least on a logarithmic scale, so what I'm doing is I'm measuring from this bottom down here, which by the way is potentially this bottom of this wave 4, right? So we've got a WXY. So we have ABC, 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 all right? So WXY to complete this wave 4. And this led us into the potential for a 1-2. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a 1-2. And we have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if this doesn't make you feel good, you can put the 3 here and you can put the 4 here, and it also works. I don't really like it. I don't like the way that this actually looks. To me, it looks more like an ABC at this point. So let me just show you what this would look like. So from here, A, B, C into the A, B, C into the B, A, B, C into the C. So that is what I could be more inclined to count that as. One way or another, it does look like, obviously, we've created a little bit of a bottom, considering the fact that we've moved up a significant amount since then. How far have we gone up? You know, a good 15% we've gone up since then. So all in all, this looks pretty good. This move right here looks very wave 3-ish. So let me just kind of dig in just a little bit here. I'm going to go down to a 15-minute time frame. I want to dig into from this bottom down here. So from the bottom, what I think we've got is a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're working on that 5, and I think we're pretty close to finishing that 5. The other alternative is we've got a nested 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, and then we go up higher. What I'm really anticipating, though, I'm really anticipating a little bit of a pullback, and I don't know if it's going to be a pullback down to this range, or if it's just going to just continue moving sideways and chopping, and we don't get that pullback. There's a lot of things fundamentally happening in the atmosphere right now. Taking a look at the hourly, going back here for just a moment, we had, a pretty strong buy down here from our 12-hour wave indicator, which, by the way, there are some links in the video description. If you need access to our Discord, if you need access to use the waves indicator, there's some links in the video description for that. But at any rate, we had the 12-hour that was really showing some strong signs of a reversal to the upside. And once that hit, let me just go ahead and zoom to see where this actually triggered. It triggered right here on this candle. It's probably hard to see on the screen, but we have a bright green candle right there. Let me just go ahead and zoom in. You can see that a little better now. We had this bright green candle, which is signifying a reversal on the 12-hour. And so this was basically signaling a buy. It confirmed at about 52,000, almost 52,100, and now we're at almost 58,000. So that was a good signal, and it was pretty well down in the oversold territory anyway. So that was a decent bottom to catch. But now that we're up here, surprisingly, we've gone up at such a thrust that 12-hour is already almost up in overbought territory. What we have seen in the past is Bitcoin can sit in overbought for long periods of time. But historically, every time it has gone into severe oversold territory, this is the last time the 12-hour was down here in this range, and you can see where that price was and where we went to from there. Now, can we see any kind of correlation between what happened down here to what's happening right here? Well, actually, we can. Because very similarly, we see a nice 1, 2, 3, deep 4, up for the 5, a strong 5. Significant pullback. Well, 1, 2, 3, we get the pullback into the 4, strong 5. Now, when we did the pullback, we pulled back into the wave 4, a little bit on the other side of that wave 4 zone. Well, that would put us about right here, about at 53,700. If we get down there, what this is going to look like, keeping in mind we're counting a 1, 2, I would be looking for a 1, 2, a 1, 2, all right? Depending on how high we go. Don't know how high we're going to go just quite yet, but as soon as we get that reversal, I'll be looking to get a long position somewhere down here in the $53,600 range. This does differ from what my thesis was last night. If you were looking, if you're on our Discord and you were looking at some of my trading ideas, a lot of my trading bias being bearish was us staying below this trend line, and we're still trading above it. This is still a bullish sign for me. So I would say probably a little bit more upside, because it looks like on a micro scale, we've got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go up for that 5. Don't know where it's going to hit just quite yet. But if I had to give any kind of a hypothesis, I would measure the bottom of my wave 2 to the top of my wave 3. And I would be looking for, yeah, I mean, maybe we've topped, but I would say that we're probably going to go just a little bit higher. But not much, not much. But ultimately, I'm going to be looking for a long position down here, because let's just say in a perfect world, measuring from the bottom of that 2, if we have topped out, I would say that a pullback to, yeah, I mean, right here, 54,268. It'd be really fancy if we can come down here to the 618, which is going to be at about 53,329, assuming we've topped out. And again, I don't think we have. I think we have a little bit higher to go, probably not much, and then we do this pullback. I'm not looking to short right now. I'm looking to find that long position, to find that high probability trade for a long side, because things are looking a little more bullish right now. All right, let's take a look at the S&P. Take a look at the ES1 chart. We were looking right down here, and actually that does signify a really a bottom. This was right here in our zone, and we came right down to it, and we bounced. Right, we bounced right here in this area. So it does look like we're going to be doing a little bit of sideways today. It doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of action in the stock market today. My best guess is we are going to probably move sideways or move down a little bit. We think that Bitcoin is on a trajectory to make a little bit more high, but ultimately come down a little bit. I would say that the S&P is going to be very similar to that. Very similar. Now, keeping in mind that we've got our waves indicator here, this is the red is the daily in the stock market, but on ES, it's almost the equivalent of that 12-hour, because the ES is almost a 24-hour market. It's down for I think about 45 minutes in the afternoon. It's not down for very long. So this is almost a 12-hour indicator, and we had a bottom here. And not only that, we had the 1 hour, the 3 hour, and this pseudo 12-hour all down here at the same time, this was a good place to load up. You know, the last time we had really good indication where this 12-hour was really down low was going to be about right here. This was about the best equivalent, and that's when the price was right here in this range. So it was chopping down here, but it was basically at that area where you should be looking for actually capturing long positions and not shorts. And a lot of people were captured down there. You know, I haven't had the greatest track record the last couple months because it's been a very, very choppy market. That's just how it has been. When we start to capture some long positions in equity, you know, the chop is getting us stopped out. And so right now money is hard. Money is tough. We've got some strategies where we are kind of predicting this chop, this sideways action, and it's working out okay. And we talk about that on our Discord as well. But at any rate, it does look like we have created this bottom, which means that this is a 1, 2, and we should be going in for a 3, right? So let me just close this all out. So we've already got this all figured out. Again, we're looking for a 3, 4, 5 into the 3, then go down for a 4 into a 5. So this is very bullish. This is very bullish. Where do I think that we're going to end? Well, if we do have, and it does appear that we do, if we do have a 1 and then we come down here for this 2, well, our wave 3, and I'm on a log scale here, we always look for that 1618. So this 3 would be all the way up here, right? And then we go down for the 4 and the 5. I'm going to keep all these guys just kind of hanging out over here for right now because we've got a lot that needs to happen before we come all the way up here to this 3. But if we're going to remain bullish, this is what has to happen. We have to see some real serious bullish momentum going up into this. Now, do we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're doing the pullback? More than likely. So again, we've got a 1, 2, potentially nesting in a 1, 2. I do not think we break 4,000. I do not think we break 398 today. I don't think it's going to happen. We're talking about taking a special trade in the insured room. We're talking about basically taking a call credit spread today. We're looking to potentially buy the 400s and sell the 397s, which puts our break even at about 397.70 on SPY, right? Not on ES, but on SPY. And assuming that the premiums work out to our benefit, I'll be looking to potentially take that trade. But I'll be talking about that on the Discord. But that's kind of what I'm looking at for today. Basically doing 0 days to expiration. There's expiration today on SPY at 329, with Max Payne sitting on SPY at, I think it's 392. Let me go back. The Max Payne today is at 392. And SPY, let's just take a look at that here for a moment. SPY is sitting at 393.88, which leads me to believe we're probably going to come back down here to this 392 area. What would that look like? All right. Well, let's just assume for a moment that we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we come down for wave 2. All right. Let's just look at this from here to the top. We try and get that pullback. Well, there's 391.58 right there at the 382. This makes sense. This looks good. I'm good with this. You know, I'm good with a call credit spread, assuming that we move sideways generally and move down a little bit generally, right? If you take a look at the hourly, and SPY's chart is going to look different than the ES chart. You know, we have this hourly, which is curling, and it looks like because of the downward movement and overnight, it does look like it wants to move down at least a little bit more. You know, my sentiment is we're going to come down here to 391.58. Maybe we come down to 390, but I would say that 391.58 is more than likely where this guy is going to end up. That's just my gut feeling, 391.58. Because what ended up happening on Friday is a lot of people got very bullish. A lot of people were buying calls, especially into the close. A lot of people were making a lot of money on calls. And a lot of people can't make money in this market. People have to lose money. And a lot of people were buying calls, seeing their profits increase. Well, what's happening right now? Those profits are going to be going away, and you are probably going to have less money than you did when this price was at its exact same point on Friday because of theta decay. And of course, other varying factors as well. IV crush, all different things factor into options prices. And with the fact that this is going to open up $2 less than where it closed on Friday, you're going to have severe decay on this. So maybe even the play that I'm looking at right now, that I'm speculating on right now, it may even not make sense, even though it's going to succeed, because the risk to reward is going to be different. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Let's see what NASDAQ is going to be doing right now. So we've been eyeing this guy, and I expected that NASDAQ had bottomed because we came all the way down here near that 618. All right, and we came all the way up here to the wave 3 target, right? So let me move down to a 30-minute time frame. We came right down to the 618. It was perfect. 1, 2. You know what? This actually, it kind of looks corrective, if I'm being honest with you. If I'm being honest with you all, this looks very corrective, because this looks like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. It looks like it wants to go up a little bit more. But this does not look impulsive. This doesn't look impulsive at all. This looked impulsive. 1, 2, 3, 4, truncated fifth. 1, 2. This looks impulsive. 3, 4, 5. But you really can't get anything good out of this. This doesn't look good. Even though we had a bounce at that 618, it didn't look good. I would say NASDAQ probably looks like it wants to retreat back to this 618. Because as of right now, you can see we've got potentially a 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, the only thing that you can pull out of this is a very bullish 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But I don't see that being in the cards. NASDAQ looks very sloppy right now. So for that reason, I'm going to kind of ignore it for the moment until we can see it break up and through some serious, significant resistance lines. That's going to be this guy. And let's take a look at this one here. We're just having basically some just constant fighting at these resistance levels. And until we can break up above it, I'm saying that I don't really like NASDAQ. I don't really like NASDAQ right now. And we have another resistance level that we are also working with as well. So, I mean, all of these lines are going to be important. They're not related to any fib level. They may be. They might be. But this doesn't look bullish. This move right here does not look bullish to me. Now, it may just move up and out of here, but I don't like it. I don't like the way that it looks. It looks very corrective. It does not look impulsive. And for an impulse, what I need to see for something to be bullish for me, I need to see something from down here at the bottom, do a nice 1, 2, but then move up for the 3, and then come back for a shallow 4, and then go up for the 5. And that is not what we saw. You know, we're not seeing that. I mean, potentially we've got a 1, 2, but this 3 is not high enough. The 3 is not high enough. It needs to move up higher. Sure, we can get a nice 1, A, B, C, like an expanded flat, but at that point you're trying to force a count that doesn't make sense. So NASDAQ, it looks bearish to me. S&P looks okay. Again, I still think that we pull back a little bit today, but NASDAQ looks okay. I mean, sorry, S&P looks okay, but NASDAQ doesn't look all that great. NASDAQ doesn't look all that great. It looks like it may actually want to retreat back down here to the 618. So I would be very cautious with NASDAQ. All right, so it is 9:22. I've got 8 minutes. I'm going to take a look at IDEX, FCEL, JMIA, NIO, CAN, and EBON really quickly. I'm gonna spend maybe 30 seconds on each one. I'll be able to tell really quickly if I like it or if I hate it. So let's take a look. IDEX. We'll start with that guy. Not bad. It actually doesn't look all that bad. If it maintains price action above 246, you see, actually I didn't take a look at the price, because if you were to buy here, your stop loss is going to have to be, I mean, it's really significant. I really don't like things that are less than, I don't like anything that's less than $5 or $10, and this is at 278. I mean, yeah, your upside is going to be pretty significant, but you're talking about a 12% stop loss at this point. I would say because of that, I wouldn't take the trade personally, but your upside target is going to be right there at actually about a 64% gain. I mean, you've got a 5.36 to 1 ratio, which isn't terrible. I would not take the trade. I would have taken the trade if I were to get in down here, because then your stop loss is minimal and you'd be in significant profit. So now you'd be able to set your stop loss at break even, or maybe even in a little bit of profit. I would be avoidant of this just because of that. It does look like this daily is still kind of moving down. It's probably going to curl up, but the hourly looks like it wants to come down. So I would be waiting for a little bit more of a pullback. If you can get this guy down here, at potentially like 260 to 250, I would say that would be better, but your stop loss has to be at 244. 244 for the stop loss is what I would say on IDEX. Your upside, you're going to be looking at about 450. So the upside potential is there, assuming that we can stay above 250. Not 250, 244. 244 has got to be where you hold that. All right, moving on, FCEL. All right, fuel cell energy. This one, again, looks almost identical. It looks like almost the exact same chart. All right, so from this, it looks like I had a count on here already, and it actually looks like I was expecting this guy to come down to 950. If I was expecting this guy to come down to 950, I'm going to remove this. If I was expecting him to come down to 950, I would expect that IDEX is probably going to do the same, which means it's going to break these lows and you're going to get stopped out. A, B, C, A, B, A. It probably is going to bounce up a little bit, but I do ultimately believe it's going to come down here. I would say that it probably is going to come down, off of these lows. And as you can see, I do have a chart on here. So I don't like FCEL. And for that reason, I would say that probably IDEX is going to be very, very similar. JMIA. We're on the hourly here. This one doesn't look as bad. I do think it probably will come down, back down to these lows. My guess, potentially for a stop loss hunt. But if we do break and hold below 31.55, and actually since this is priced a little bit higher, more than likely your stop loss is going to be a little bit better. Not much, 8%. But if we do happen to hold, if you can grab this guy down closer to like $33, that would be better. But taking this guy, if it breaks through, it's actually probably going to have a significant movement to the upside. Let's see where that would potentially be here. Up and down. Yeah, you're going to be looking at over 100% on this, because if we can hold, okay, so if you can capture this at about $33, right? That assumes it comes down to 33. You set your stop loss at 31.63, which is about 4.5%, which is still a bit of a loss, but it's not 10%, not 9%. It's half of that. If we can get down to 33, you're looking at about 120% trade if that works out, because your target's going to be 72.55, assuming 31.63 does not fail. That's what the target would be for that. So it doesn't look terrible, and actually the waves indicator looks a little bit better on JMIA. It looks a little bit better. It looks like it can go up to about 72.55. So I would be okay with that one. Let's take a look at NIO. We got 3 minutes before the market's open here. All right, we came all the way down here to the 786. A nice big pullback at the open that we're going to see. But actually, I think NIO looks okay. NIO looks okay. We are in the buy zone for the waves indicator. Setting your stop loss right here, 3.47%. That works. Taking this up to $50, that's potentially a 43% trade. I would take that trade. I think that's not terrible. Not terrible. Okay, so I mean, obviously I've got some other stuff over here that I need to clean up, but the current price action on this chart leads me to believe we've got a nice A, B, we'd be going up for the C, which is probably a 100% equality. Let's measure it from the bottom to the top, right there. Get that pullback. Okay, that 100% is going to be sitting here, still at a 40% trade at 49.21. 123.6 is sitting there for a 52% trade. I would be looking to scale out 33% at the 100, 33% at this negative 236, which is a 50.61, and the last of your trade you should probably get out at about 53.75. That's what I would be looking at, because it looks like, you know, a corrective move. A nice A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. And then we're going to be looking for a nice 1, 2, strong 3, 4, 5. I would say I'd be bullish on NIO for now. And you can't ignore a 44% trade. Can't ignore it, especially if you're only looking at a 3.47% stop. That's not bad. I'm going to take this trade. And I'm going to do it here in just a couple minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look at CAN. CAN. You know, it's gapping up. It's gapping up significantly. And so, yeah, I would not... ultimately, I do think that it's going to move up. So, you know, a gap fill down here, it's about 1732 is more than likely what's going to happen. I'd say that would look okay. Let's take a look at EBON. And then I'm going to go ahead and end it because we've got market open. So this guy... I would actually have to be a little bullish on EBON right now. We were looking at this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then inside of there we've got a 1, 2. So yeah, I would be very bullish on EBON as long as it can maintain above about $7. I would be bullish. Is there a trade to take here? I don't think there is. I don't think there's a trade to take here because, you know, you're going to be risking here at about $7.39. And that would be like an 8.68% stop. That's significant in my eyes. I wouldn't take the trade, but I would be bullish on EBON. All right, guys, I'm going to get away from the YouTube video. I'm going to move on into the Discord. We're going to be looking at taking some trades here today. And of course, if you need access to our Discord, there are 3 links in the video description for you to take a look at. And wherever you're in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening.